Good morning. In today's 7-3 early position, this is a 50 NL game. I think quite a few of these players at 50 NL, even though I've masked the names, quite a few of them I see playing the 25 NL game and the 10 NL game. This isn't a big site. I mean, you do have some of the players that play higher that come down to play 50 NL and sometimes 25 NL. And it's about half and half. But I think generally the 25 and 50, the 25 NL plays a lot like the 10 NL, and I think it's fairly easy. I'm comfortable playing that. 50 NL is just bigger stacks. It does get some of the 100 and 200 NL players that'll play it. So let's work through it. Under the gun raises up to 5. I think for the most part, this player is playing it tight game. 18% raise first in, 10%, 2 out of 20. So he can limp. I did set up a range that was like maybe about 10%. And then I looked at his raise size. And the raise size is 5 big blinds. So we do have 2.2 raise first in from early position with king jack off, 2.2 from the button with ace 10. For him to bet 5, I think it really shifts his range to something like this. And I actually think it probably is looking more like jacks and queens. I did 50% waiting for aces and kings because I kind of feel like aces and kings might just go for that smaller size, 2.2. Try to encourage more callers. I'd be tempted to say ace, king, ace, queen are also kind of a little less likely. I'm going to leave them at 100%. But betting larger under the gun is kind of a hand that the players is somewhat scared to play out of position. So queens, jacks, tens, maybe. I'm just gonna go with that narrow range. I fold, and we see we have 3 callers. So this caller's in early position still, playing 31-8. Looks to be a little bit looser, but we only have 13 hands. So I'm going to say that usually early position caller is going to be somewhat tight. I'm going to give them all of the pocket pairs because I do think players play the pocket pairs, even like pocket 2s, 3s, and 4s, open to flop a set. But then their unsuited hands would be suited. So this guy's got kind of a narrow calling range here. This player, I've got 37-4, over 60 hands. I think we can look at mid position plays like 38%. You've got 3-bet range of queens plus. I think that's going to be standard. You've got called 2 bets from the blinds, wide range of hands. I kind of put up together a hand like this. You already have one caller. He's not quite on the button. This could be a little too loose, and in fact, it could be closer to something like this, which is what I gave the button. And again, I kind of dropped out all the ace-x offsuit hands. I mean, I don't know why you would play those. Not sure why anyone would play him in this position, because all you're playing is the ace, and you've got a really bad kicker. But I've got our ranges. Let's move to the flop. King 7-4. All right, so obviously this is going to hit his ace-king hand, but I think queens and jacks probably will just check. He bets pot, which I think is really going to be top pair and over pair. I think a set could do it if he had a set of kings. And again, you can see we've got more likely to have like ace king. I think he's doing this, he's betting that size because he might be afraid of the draws. He doesn't want to give people a chance to draw out on him. That seems like the most obvious reason why he would do that. So top pair plus, and that would be top pair, top kicker plus. Next 2 players fold. All All right, and then this guy. Also, we're getting a big pot here. Probably this guy's going to have to start thinking about commitment. What is this guy calling with? We're gonna give him flush draw, open ender. I don't think he'd call with flush or with the gut shot or the 2 card back to a flush draw. I think top pair possibly calls once. He does have kicker issues, and maybe even 8s, 9s, 10s, and jacks. It's just a large bet. So we're gonna say with that large bet, we're only going to give him 50% of these combos, and we're also going to like scale this to 50% and do 50% for these weak kicker. I think at King 10 starts to be where they might like consider just folding. We'll leave 100% at King 10, and everything else is 50%. 50% they call, 50% they just get rid of it. So we'll play those ranges. All right, 3 clubs comes out. Ooh, and obviously he could have had set 2 pair. Let's take that out. So he obviously could be calling with the set or 2 pair. Kind of think maybe those hands would have raised. However, and I think this is how I would have considered it. Since he bet the pot, I think it's strongly ace king or aces, and that he's going to, as long as this card is not the spade, he's going to follow it up with a bet. If we raise this spot, he bet 21 and we come over the top and basically shove, he could really get away from his 1 pair hand, and that's not something we really want to do. By just calling, we include spade draws in our hand, and we also include like our trips and 2 pair. So then on the turn, if he bets again, now we're easily all in. We raise all in, and it's going to be an easy call for him. Is a possibility that he has kings and would beat us. So he bets 2/3, which is reasonable. You're basically setting him up for commitment. And I think he would do it with all of those hands. And he shoves, and I think he would do that with 2 pair. I probably don't think top pair is going to do this anymore. I don't think he's going to just go ahead and shove with king, queen, king, jack. I think this is going to be 2 pair plus along with maybe the flush draw. Is it going to be with all of the flush draws? Yeah, I could see him do it with all of the flush draws, and we could kind of see what that breakdown is. But I do think, I mean, with the flush draw, if you just call and the spade gets there, with the stack sizes as they are, it's going to be hard for him to fold to that. He's getting a good price just to like confirm that we do have that he would have the spade. So it might be a little bit better to like just scale these down and say maybe, I'm gonna say maybe 1/3 of the time he would make this play. I think that might be a little bit more reasonable. But I mean, it is what it is. I've seen a lot of players make this play because they want to commit, and because again, when that spade comes, it could freeze up the action. However, he bet 43. He's basically raising another 52. There's this pot. If he just calls, it's going to be 140, and you're betting basically like a 1/3 pot. Could he get away from the 1 pair hand? Yeah, he could, but I think with top pair, top kicker, over pair is going to be hard. So we're going to go, and of course he's going to call with all of his top pair, top kicker hands. Plus 8 of diamonds comes out. They are all in. And he had the aces. That's right. He had 5, 6. So that was one of his premium hands here. And we have it. Well, actually, no, we don't. Yeah, 5-6. Hold on. Set that to 100. Yeah, that's what he had. Yeah, that's right. He had it. Straight was here. We kept it in there. Because he would on the turn or on the flop, he had his open ender 5-6. He calls, so we did have it in his range. And it kind of comes back to if you're going to be raising it with the straights and sets and two pairs. We'll go back to the river or to the turn. If you're going to be raising it with those hands, then you do need some bluffs on there. But how he's played, his bets and everything, bet sizing really strongly suggests that he's not gonna go away. And to me, that if you lose your fold equity, then what's the point of semi bluffing? Semi bluffs get value from when they make the hand, and number two, when people fold. And if he's not going to fold, then you're left to making your hand, which is, um, basically you're looking at 9 outs. Or if this was spades, if he had spades, you're hoping for 9 outs. Actually, they only have 8 outs because he has the ace of spades. So we do have both hands. We scaled aces because I didn't really think he would do this, bet that size with aces, but it is. So RFI 5 big blinds under the gun with ace of diamonds, ace of spades. He is out of position, four-way, bet 100%. Bet. Then he bet like 2/3. Call all in. Call 2x. Say like 1.2x. All in. So king of spades, seven of spades, four hearts, three of clubs, eight of diamonds. All right. So got the hands. And again, it's just watching to see how players play. All right, so called under the gun, 5 big blind, RFI on button, actually overcall. Button with 6-5 hearts. He is IP four-way. Call. So he is going to call 100%. And then raise 1.2x. Bet all in. All right. Now, what would we have done if we were in the aces? So we're not going to be raising 5 big blinds. It's not going to be us. I do think we bet on the larger size on the flop. We get a call, and then I think we scale down, kind of like what he did, based on sizes. We bet, and then when he comes over the top, when we face the raise with our aces, I think we have to consider that since we block the ace of spades, since we block the nut flush, we have to think about what other hands would villain do this with. The straight, I mean, 5-6, would he call? Yeah, I mean, he's playing 42-17. I do think 5-6 is in his range. If he has 5-6 of spades, he's got a straight with flush redraw. You've got trips he could have. You've got two pair that he could have. I don't think he's raising with just like king queen or ace king. And again, we block ace king, but I don't think he's doing that with the one pair hand. I think he's doing that with two pair trips, two pair or better. Um, so could we have gotten away from the hand? Yeah, I think so. And again, since we blocked the nut flush draw, I think it makes it less likely that this guy is going to be doing it with a flush draw unless it's some sort of big combo draw. Um, may I would have said ace five is spades, but we blocked that. Like that could have been a reasonable one where you're drawing to open it or double gut shot and the flush draw, nut flush draw. That could be a good one. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I do think we could have found a fold. It would have been a tight fold, um, but just based on 42-17, he doesn't look like he's like overly aggressive. Um, so if we do have like an aggressive player, we have to be worried that they are betting as bluffs, and we're gonna probably have to call with the aces, because it would be likely that hey, if he has a king in his mind, he would be thinking, well, I have a king, I block the kings. Does this guy actually have ace king? It's kind of less likely. It makes it seem like maybe he has ace queen of spades. So now you can actually raise it to get value from your top pair hand, and I think a good aggressive player might consider doing that. Yeah, I think a good aggressive player might consider doing that. All right, so hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, you can look tomorrow for another one.